What's going on, everybody? It is Show Me the Money Club live Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Sergio and myself. Let's get right into today. We have Eric Gardner on from More Perfect Union. Sergio and I had worked with him on a video talking about the Uber and Lyft algorithm going on about a year ago, almost now. And they just came out with a great new video last week. And we also have Professor Len Sherman as well. Unfortunately, Derek couldn't be here because his son is sick. Sergio's not feeling well. I'm getting over something. So we might be rushing the show a little bit, but let's bring on Eric and Len right now. How are you guys doing?
Hi.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eric, welcome back. I know you have limited time, so let's get right into it. We have worked in the past before, as Chris said. You know, we did the algorithmic wage discrimination video where we put 7 drivers in a room. And Vicky, you and I was already on the list. Now you got on the Uber's most hated man list, and now you're getting definitely on other companies' lists. So if for all of you who have not watched the video, the link is in the show notes. Please go check it out. It's extremely well done. It's about the consumer getting fleeced by algorithms. There it is. And it's on the More Perfect Union YouTube channel. And so, Eric, tell us how this came about. I know it was like a 5-month process, as it was said in the video. So tell us about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. So the inspiration and kind of conception of this was actually the Uber video. So after the Uber video that I did with Sergio and Chris, a researcher who at the time was at Georgetown, Katie Wells, reached out to me. And she had studied a lot of Instacart workers and kind of came to the same conclusion that our video did, that Instacart workers were getting paid different amounts for essentially identical work. And so like the video kind of goes into, she reached out and like, well, why don't we test on the consumer side? Like, I feel like they're probably doing something there. And that was probably over a year ago. And it basically just kind of took us a while to get everything off the ground. And we ran a couple pilots, and I said to Katie, you know, like, we could do this kind of similar to what we did with, you know, Sergio and Chris. And, you know, Instacart could just kind of respond back to us, oh, this is a tech glitch or something's going on here, similar to what Uber did. And we've both gotten connected to some consumer reports folks over the last year, just kind of investigating in general, kind of surveillance pricing and wages. And so I had this idea of like, what if we reach out to Consumer Reports? They have this massive kind of volunteer network. And, you know, thankfully, Consumer Reports agreed. They thought it was something worth investigating. So what we did is we recruited around 427, I believe, individuals across 4 different sections to basically run kind of controlled test experiments. We got everyone in a virtual room like this. Katie went through and identified 20 different items to shop for, picked out specific locations at both Safeway and Target. And at the same time, everyone was in the app, same location, same delivery address when needed, went ahead and added them to the carts. And, you know, at the end of it, it was pretty shocking that we had, it was pretty clear that, you know, algorithmic price discrimination was happening. And then once we started investigating and asking Instacart more and more questions, it became clear that there was a little bit more to the story than just that, as it seems like there's, you know, a larger infrastructure. You know, Instacart claims that all that is happening is testing, basically price test run by retailers. But as you'll see in the video, you know, one of the stores that we tested was Target. We reached out to Target for comment, and they were like, what the heck are you guys talking about? Like, we don't have anything to do with Instacart. We don't know what's going on. So kind of leads us to believe that, you know, Instacart is scraping Target's website, setting and managing the prices on the app, even though they claim to just be kind of this neutral marketplace. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, is Target the only store that's happening to? I have no idea. I certainly think it's worth investigating. But yeah,
I think all third-party apps are doing this. You know, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Instacart. And restaurants are doing it too. I mean, they have to jack prices up just to pay the commissions on them. But the point is, this has been going on the consumer side, and the consumer outnumbers the gig worker by 30 to 1. So all I know is what you guys did actually went a lot more mainstream than our video did, although our video went viral and did great. And, you know, luckily and thankfully gave you guys the inspiration to work on this video. And I'm sure there will be more to come. And so ultimately, what was the final result, right? I mean, 427 people ordered the same 20 items from the same store at the same time, and they're all getting different prices, right?
Yep. So just some high level facts here. We saw price differences on about 3/4 of all items. In terms of like how prices are assigned, again, Instacart says that it is all random testing, but that doesn't seem to really hold up. So what happens is when you go into Instacart, we don't know how or why, but you're assigned basically what we're calling a price group. So that means that you and I could have this, if we are assigned the same price group, we get the same prices for every single item. In some tests, like the Safeway in Washington, it was about $114 or at the low end for that 20 item basket total. And at the high end, it was about $124. So we're talking like a $10 spread, which adds up. Consumer Reports and Groundwork Collaborative, who were our collaborators on this, kind of crunched the numbers and saw that, if basically this could be costing consumers about $1,200 a year on additional grocery prices through Instacart.
That's each consumer, right? Multiply
Yep.
that times by millions, and just like the driver case, the dimes and nickels add up for these companies, and it all goes to their bottom line. So I know you have to go shortly, but what is next? What are you working on next?
That's a great question. So we're certainly still interested in kind of general surveillance pricing and surveillance wages, having some conversations with some drivers across the nation, potentially looking into a follow-up around that. But in general, just anywhere that there is kind of rising technology, rising, established market power that has negative impact on consumers and workers, we're interested in covering it.
I think this will definitely have more tailwind because it's the consumer, because we're all consumers, right? And we're all experiencing this new age of algorithmic discrimination. Although the companies deny it, right? We don't discriminate. Well, they do, right? We know they do. I know you're not a lawyer or a legal scholar, and I'm not either. Is this legal?
Yeah, that's the big question, and I think Len put it so nicely in the video that charging different prices based on protected classes is illegal. And also, as Len said in the video, it also would be highly ineffective in terms of pricing. Charging based off of kind of past behavioral, as far as my knowledge, as Len says in the video, it's perfectly legal from my understanding. That could change, but as of right now, my understanding is that it's legal.
It's legal. Okay. And it seems like the whole world is going towards the algorithmic decision making on pretty much everything these days, from consumer loans, and there's so much more to look into, honestly. And so you have a couple of minutes left. I'll give you the floor. Just tell us, tell our consumer. We're all consumers. We're drivers, but we're also consumers. So there is algorithmic wage discrimination going on one side, on the gig worker side, and there is algorithmic discrimination. Seems like it's pretty evident to me if anybody watches the video, going on the consumer side. So why does I know that you said it's legal at the moment, but are there any laws or any proposals that you know of that's coming down the pipe? Because this is costing, people complain about inflation, right? This is just inflation introduced. Why should I pay 10 more bucks for the same 20 items than you? And that's inflation on me. So yeah.
Definitely. I certainly think there is some momentum. We'll see how it all shakes out. Last week, at a kind of a happy coincidence, Senator Gallardo out of Arizona introduced a bill to ban surveillance pricing. And so it's interesting. It was written by, or it was helped, kind of advised by a guy named Lee Hepner from AELP, who is certainly on the side of consumers, on the side of workers. So I trust Lee in terms of how to craft a bill that would stop this. One thing that I spoke with the senator last week, and he had mentioned how, he talks to the CEOs and he talks to lobbyists, and we're not doing this. And he's like, well, then say it on your shareholder meeting, right? Say it, don't just deny it to public, say it to somewhere where you can be held liable, and then I'll start believing you. But I think, he had a good point where you can't really do whack-a-mole with this. We need to set a level playing field, and for both businesses understand what is and isn't legal, and consumers understand what their rights are within this. So, hopefully that takes off, and hopefully that bill gets enacted. But it's Washington D.C., so we'll see how that shakes out.
Well, you know where to find us. We're always here for you, and great work. It really is. All your videos are great, but this one really hit home.
Appreciate that.
I hope it gets a lot of push, and whatever you guys need us to do, we'll be able to do it.
I appreciate that, and I would, yeah, love to come back on January when I have a not as crunch for time. Maybe
Yeah,
Katie and I will
definitely.
come
Then we'll
back
have
and
Katie back as well, because Katie was a big part of this video and a big part of
absolutely
the research. So we'll have all you three back again in January sometime. All right. Thank you so much, Eric.
perfect.
Thank you for
Thank you
coming
so
on.
much. Take care.
Here.
All right. Here's our new hostage. Len, how are you, Len?
Doing all right. We're hanging in there.
So what do you think about this video? I mean, I know you watched our video with the
Yeah,
algorithmic wage discrimination.
I've worked with Katie and with Eric before, so I was after that. I can't take any credit for their really well done work, but after they completed it and had just an initial draft of writing up the results, they asked if I'd take a look at the preliminary results and share any sort of thoughts on it. And, I, first of all, my immediate reaction and really dug into it was that the methodology and what they did and how they did it was impeccable from where I sat. And the results were compelling as much as they were disturbing, but, to you guys and to your audience, not surprising at all. I mean, we know this is going on. So I suggested a few things to them, and they tweaked it a bit, and I've been following it ever since. So I could say without any hesitation, this was professionally designed, well executed, and the results speak for themselves.
Right.
For your audience and who is likely listening now or in there when time allows asynchronously. I can chat with you about sort of what are the implications and what can we learn from this study as it applies to folks who are independent contractors and driving for one of the delivery services or for the rideshare companies and the like, because there are some important commonalities and we can sort of learn from each other about what they
Yeah,
found.
let's do that. Let's
and
definitely
what
do that.
what you
Let's do
guys
that.
are finding. For starters, let me focus on Uber because they're the big elephant in the room. They're the biggest global delivery service and the biggest rideshare company by far. The Instacart study, look, it was clearly focused on the consumer pricing side, and they undoubtedly, despite their denials, we just sort of experiment totally randomly. I mean, just think of how absurd that sounds. We've systematically discovered that they are adjusting prices, and it's not totally randomly because there were different buckets, and certain groups of consumers as a group got systematically higher prices by meaningful amounts than other groups.
Yeah.
Clearly what these companies are trying to do, and they should do, I don't begrudge them at all, is try to understand which of their consumers are more or less price sensitive. And if it means they're really price sensitive people, unless you sort of keep those prices low and competitive, you lose them as customers. All right, well, we'll still make enough money on them, but whenever we find the opportunity for that other class of customers, my wife would be in that group, who will pay for what she thinks is great and never argues, take advantage of it. That's just going on, but it's not random, and it's not just, very rarely do we run these little experiments. It is systematic and it is pervasive. As you know, and I've been on your program before, I have tried to trace what I consider to be the largest ever implementation of algorithmic price discrimination that the world has ever seen to Uber. They've been at this game since middle of 2022 when they introduced upfront pricing, which, as we've said many times, is decoupled both passenger pricing from the distance and time of the trip, and ditto with driver pay. And no company, I would argue, as much as other companies are now playing around, particularly on the consumer pricing side, no company has benefited more from algorithmic price discrimination than Uber. Why? 3 reasons. Number one, unlike Instagram, or maybe they do a little bit on the driver side, but Uber can practice algorithmic price and pay discrimination on both sides of their marketplace with 8 million drivers and 200 million customers. So that they are, Delta Airlines is playing this game, but that's only on pricing. Wendy's said we might try to price hamburgers differently. That's only on consumer pricing. But Uber can and does play the game on both sides.
Yep.
Second, just because of their scale, that they've been able to implement this not just in the U.S. when they started in mid-2022, but quickly spreading around the world. I've been spending a lot of time in London. For sure, it's going on there as well, and many other European and worldwide capitals. And third, I mean, this is the most startling thing is just how successful Uber has been. If you look at their profit improvement trajectory since literally the absolute day they implemented upfront pricing, it is just a rocket ship. And we've seen this. My research has shown this. How you can deny that this is a practice that is widespread and impactful. Oh, we don't really do these things. Defies the logic to show how it just tracks so perfectly to when they implemented this policy and how their profits have taken off. $15 billion swing in free cash flow between 2019 and 2025. That doesn't come out of thin air. So I would say for the drivers in your audience, which is most of your audience, I suspect, I can also sadly report that my research has shown that Uber's profit improvement has come more at the expense of cutting driver pay than from raising consumer prices. And that's simply because they had been raising consumer prices so rapidly leading into 2022 that their own kind of constant testing about price sensitivity started to begin to show some price resistance. There's just limits to how much we could keep raising prices on consumers. But there apparently has been very little limits on how much they can continue to cut driver pay, which has been going on 2023, 2024, 2025. We'll see what happens next year. Yeah. So it's not surprising to me that other companies, seeing the success of Uber, say we want to get into this game as well. And even though there's differences between these different companies I've mentioned, Wendy's Hamburgers and Delta Airlines and Instacart, the one thing that is striking, and I'll make this my last point, and then you can see where you want to go from here. But the one thing that has struck me is there's one notable commonality that all of these players, everyone who is playing the algorithmic pricing game, shares in common, strenuously denying that they are, in fact, varying prices across individuals. And what they'll say, the words they use are always almost identical. For example, Delta Airlines, when they were held up to question for what they announced they were about to do, said, "We have never and will never set prices or pay for individuals based on, quote, personal characteristics. We just won't do it." And then the other thing a lot of these companies will say is sort of what Instagram said. On top of that, they say, well, we only vary prices or pay on a very limited basis. And it's strictly random because we're just trying to understand market dynamics. We never do anything with it. We're just trying to play with it and understand it. Yeah. Those kinds of reactions are as predictable as they are improbable, which is just a polite way for me to say BS. These companies are and should be exploiting algorithmic price discrimination because it gives them opportunities to selectively raise prices and selectively cut worker pay. And it's proven exceptionally successful.
And exceptionally profitable, obviously.
Let me pause here, but one thing we could get to is, well, is it legal? What should we do about it? What are the public policy implications? I'm much clearer on what they are doing and why and how successful it is. I'm a little less clear about what we.
Well, so am I. But I'm glad that this was done on the consumer side, because we have done a lot of work on the driver side. You have done a lot of work on the driver side, and you've had many articles that came out and that Uber said Len's smoking crack or whatever. Well, they can say whatever they say. Numbers don't lie, and in this case, numbers don't lie either. I mean,
personally, I found how strong their denials was validation that we're onto something. So
That means there's more truth to it.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we played this game for a while, so it's not our first rodeo. But my question to you is, I asked Eric about the legality of it, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, I've had this thought that the more of this type of video or media is done, and the consumer is already stretched. I mean, look, there's two Americas that I know of because, through my finance background, look, the wealth gap is the largest it's ever been. There's no ifs and buts about it, and we know what the reasons are.
Right.
And the pendulum, I think, has swung the other way. So I am a capitalist by first and foremost. However, I'm a fair capitalist, if there is such a thing. I'm not a vulture capitalist, but it seems like these companies, through the advent of technology and algorithms and machine learning and AI now, are going to keep at this, and they're going to absolutely improve their game going forward. Do you think that's the case with all this AI coming around now?
100%. But why wouldn't they? Listen, we have the advantages of massive transaction databases for any large company in the world. Delta Airlines knows every airplane flight I've taken on the airline for the last 30 years, where I've gone, what I've paid, where I've actually started. I'm thinking of buying a ticket, but actually rejected the offer. I mean, every large company, particularly those that dominate their marketplaces, whether it's Delta or Uber or whatever, know more about. And by the way, direct customer strategy is basically, I kind of disagree a little with Eric, and why won't they say it to shareholders? These CEOs are going in front of their shareholders at quarterly report times and bragging about.
Yep.
Dara at one point said, we know more about more of our riders and passengers than anyone, which is true. They certainly know more about my behavioral inclinations than I do myself, because they remember, because they've got stored data on every Uber trip I've ever taken in my life, and when I've taken it and when I haven't, et cetera, et cetera. So, they have the advantage of large scale databases. Computing costs continue to drop, and AI-driven sort of analytical predictive models about what everyone's individual price and pay sensitivities are. Why wouldn't they? I would do it if I were them.
Yeah.
I draw the line. I wouldn't lie about it. I would just say,
hey,
we consider this one of our true highly proprietary intellectual property advantages, that we know more about our customers and drivers on both sides than anyone. And we're simply not going to talk about, we're not going to lie about that we're not doing it, and that we're just not going to talk about it.
why do you think they lie about it? Why do you think they deny it so vehemently? I mean, we were in the green room, you said something, and that's 100% correct. You said their life depends on it.
Yeah, well, because they clearly have to know. And by the way, there's a lot of academic research. I won't bore you with the citations, but there have been many, many, many academic studies where you get a large sample of consumers and you ask them a bunch of questions about hypothetically different kinds of corporate pricing policies on products that these consumers would buy. And the consistent finding, this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, and certainly not to Uber, is consumers, if they're asked, how would you feel if when you went to buy a scarf or a sweater or whatever it is, and you liked the scarf, you were told the price, it was fine, and you paid the amount, but then you learned that 10 other people bought the scarf, and 8 of them got a lot cheaper price than you for reasons you have no idea. And just overwhelmingly, consumers say, I just hate that. I can't stand when we would do that. You don't mind. There's so much price discrimination that we've all lived with all our life. If you want to go see a movie in a Manhattan theater on a Friday night, it's going to be a lot more expensive than if you went on a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah,
that's fine. But everyone who goes to see that movie on Friday night pays the same high price, and everyone who goes on Tuesday afternoon pays the same price. That's fine. Everyone totally accepts that. But this notion that you guys have been collecting every shred of purchase behavior I have ever exhibited in my entire life, and you collect it and you store it and you analyze it and you kind of secretly come up with a price that only fits for me. That's why companies, Uber included, lie about it, because they know consumers hate that, hate it, can't stand
Well,
it.
they're turning, by the way, we have a segment coming up. I know you're not going to be around, but you'll watch it later. Uber has decided to sell the data to marketers now.
Great.
The data that they have collected and become more profitable, so make more money selling our data. They say it's in a clean room. I don't know what that means, but they're going to start doing that, and then whoever markets to you is going to have a huge advantage now, because most companies don't have the tools and the workforce and the brains that Uber has, and Uber has all the data. You said this before when I first met you. Uber is the best data collector, best data analyzer in the world.
Yeah. So
right,
here's just to give you a jumping off point on this question of what can be done and is it legal, and just imagine this scenario. Imagine a store that sells Persian rugs, and you got these big towers of wrapped up beautiful rugs that only the Persians claim that they make the best in the world. And in walks to this store a well-dressed woman, very fashionably dressed, just exuding wealth and an appreciation for quality. And she says, I'm looking for a Persian rug to go in my dining room in my condo on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And that the guy who owns this store is going to size this woman up, and he's going to say, I want there's one rug. I'm glad you walked in. It's this rug, I can tell you, has been in my family 4 generations, and even that 4th generation says that it actually was done by a grand wizard and master even earlier than that. This is the most special rug I have, blah, blah, blah. And for you only, it's $5,000. Okay. And then a couple hours later, a guy from the neighborhood, one of the Iranians who live in the neighborhood, who's well known to the owner, comes in and says, hey, Frank, I need a rug. And the same freaking rug, he's not going to give this story about 4 generations. He's going to say, for you, $800.
Yeah.
This happens all the time.
Yeah.
Every store owner has the opportunity, and if you're savvy and good at it, God bless you. You're going to take advantage, size up the customer on individual personal characteristics, and change the price. The issue becomes that we just accept that. That's fine. But when a company delivers 12 billion trips a year, Uber worldwide, and is systematically collecting information and with far greater precision than our Persian rug owner, can at scale in real time adjust prices by taking advantage of these massive databases, is that the world we want to live in? That every time we buy something, it's being collected, stored, analyzed, and used the next time we buy something. Is that the world we want to live in? I don't pretend to know the answer, but at a minimum, I would think that consumers should have the right to opt out and say, I don't want my information used this way.
Yeah, I'm hoping that videos like this and articles like yours and whatever we can do, obviously, gets play on the consumer side a lot more than the driver's side. Look, you are a driver's advocate, obviously. I am, Chris. This channel is.
Yeah.
But there's so much we can do, and there's power in numbers, and there's a lot more consumers than gig workers. And I think videos like this take it home. And to me, we're all consumers, and we don't want to get screwed. Look, man, nobody wants to get screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, bottom line is this: I don't want to get screwed. So, so we have a couple of minutes remaining. So tell us what you're working on. I know you're always working on something.
I'm continuing to dig into. I don't think the supply side, and in this case, the driver's side, gets enough attention. Just for the reasons you said, there's a lot more consumers than there are suppliers of products and services. The one thing we have all been limited by and kind of research to date, certainly including my own, is that whenever we sort of let's look at the trends of what the average driver pay is and what the average, in every case, those are for trips that a driver accepted the price that was offered and the rider accepted the price that was offered.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And we can learn a lot about it. And as my research has shown, is from the day that Uber fully implemented upfront pricing, average driver pay has gone down and average rider price has gone up. But what we haven't had access to is large scale, like millions and millions of trip offers offered to drivers across the country. And you have over years had one screenshot after another, one driver experience after another. And, in all due respect, as shocking as some of these horrifically horrible offers are, they are anecdotal. And you know what Uber always says, well, that's not representative. That's,
Yep.
So my next gig is I've been able to secure a very, very, very large database of Uber's ride offers, accepted or otherwise. We'll have it in different cities. We'll have it for different kinds of drivers. And we'll be able to much more definitively talk about what the impacts of algorithmic wage discrimination have been as practiced by Uber. So stay tuned for that.
Can't wait. And I'm sure when it's done, we'll talk about it and have you back on and have it explain it to our audience.
You'll be the first to know.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Len. Much appreciated. Great work on the video. I know you were part of it. Katie, I know you're watching. Amazing work by Katie and amazing work by Dereck Kravitz of Consumer Reports. And I'm urging all of you watching now or later, don't watch now, but as soon as our show is over, click on the link below and watch it. You are a consumer. All drivers are consumers, right? We buy gas, we buy tires, we buy this. And then imagine Pep Boy starts doing algorithmic discrimination and charges me different number for a set of tires versus the other dude, which is going to happen. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen.
It's happening. It's not going to. It's
happening. Okay, cool. Well, I don't want to know yet. But no, this was great. Well, thank you for coming on. You're always welcome. So if we don't see you or talk to you, happy holidays and happy new year to you.
And to you all too. Take care now.
Take care.
All right. So yes, that is both Len and Eric that just did the video, analyzed a lot of the data. And yeah, unfortunately, that's what is happening. And it's being done on a massive scale. So the whole thing that I'm working on is I'm taking it one step further and showing you how instead of being in tier 3, you go to tier 1. So you could be that, when he was using the rug example, instead of being the Upper West Side woman walking in all dressed up and dolled up, you look like the guy who you knew, for 15 years and gets the rug for, $800 instead of 5,000. So that's what I'm working on, because I'm going to tell you right now, if you feed the algorithm crap data, trust me, you can give the data and completely screw with it. So it's just about knowing the rules of the game, knowing the ins and outs, and then, being able to maneuver within it and, bend the rules, essentially. So that is something I am working on and have been working on for the last week and a half or week or so since that video had come out. Really gave me the idea to continue forward with that. So I'm doing a few different aspects. One where you could kind of, make sure you're getting the best price at most places. And then the other one is taking it as far as you could possibly go. And that's more with data protection, things like that. So it can't be used against you really anywhere. So you become more of a ghost online as well, too. So it's going to kind of aggregate all of that together.
Yep. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about that when you're ready to talk about it some more. So I saw Mr. Gambit here. Mr. Gambit, I emailed you. Respond to my email. Don't ghost me. It's important that you email me back today, Mr. Gambit. All right. So what are we doing today? We have some topics that we want to discuss, right?
Yeah. So we are going to be, we just had our special guests, and Normally we talk about what we're going to be talking about, but Eric had a real tight deadline, and we wanted to have him on to kind of talk about this because, yeah, it started with Uber and Lyft. And I mean, think about it. If you have a business that is burning through cash in its early years and then starting to get a little bit closer, and we know rideshare is a marginally thin business, and then all of a sudden, that upfront fares comes around and upfront pricing on both sides of the marketplace, and now all of a sudden you see here's the break-even point, and you see it here, and then it just takes off, and it's like, what happened? And other businesses are taking a look at that and seeing exactly what's going on, and they're going to use it, especially when it comes to different gig economy platforms like Instacart, Shipt, all of these ones that can do it pretty much on a fly because they can take so many data points and put people into different tiers and put businesses into different tiers as well, and be able to price change and price fix and all of that stuff within it. So yeah, we want to get that on, kind of get you the breakdown, at least the intro to it, of what's going on. So then that way, you can protect yourself, you protect others, and if we do it in droves of many people, what's going to end up happening is they're not going to be able to substantiate that any longer. So it's basically a way of giving them the middle finger and also telling them we are not going to participate in this type of pricing and all of that. So stay tuned, like I said, for that. So let's talk about Lyft recognizing driver compliments for 2025. I wish there was cash involved in that, but clearly not. We're turning your data over to marketers, as Sergio had hinted earlier. Lyft is shuffling the card deck again. Drivers have no control. I mean, that's not really new, but as we get close to the end of the year, we want to make sure do not do what these Uber drivers are doing either. Is another segment. We're going to be talking about, should Lyft earn more than the driver on long trips? Uber is going back in time. Back in time. What do you do when you decline trips? DC House member introduces the Empowering App Worker Act. And this is why I am still against the Uber teen trips. So we got quite a bit for you.
Yep. And so let's get right into it. Okay, okay. So I was sent this by Lyft, and I told them I mention it. Look, I do appreciate companies recognizing their drivers, obviously. And this is called You're in Motion. It's on the Lyft blog, how Lyft is celebrating drivers in 2025 achievements. Look, folks, as much as you complain about things, there are people who like doing what they're doing, who like doing rideshare. And I'm not going to guess, but I'll bet you, Chris, that probably 70% of the folks who do rideshare, full-time or part-time, do like what they're doing. And it gives them certain flexibility, it gives them certain freedom. And they can earn on their own dime and time. So Lyft says, while it's meaningful on an individual level, when aggregated, the data also points fascinating picture of the impact all the top drivers had on communities across the country this year. For example, top drivers, now they're not giving details, but I'm sure it's full-timers, top drivers traveled 3.3 billion miles.
And
the same distance. It's ridiculous. The same distance it takes to get from Earth to Pluto. And riders appreciate them for it. Top drivers collectively earned over $500 million in tips and received over 147 million compliments in 2025. Yeah, it's 20,000 of those top drivers received over 1,000 compliments each. And some driver stats were truly extraordinary. And here's a peek. Let's take a look. $40,000. This driver was tipped. He was in Orlando, right?
Yep. Wow.
$40,000, bro. That's
Disney
just
World, man. Disney Universal.
That Disney, yeah.
That's exactly
Disney,
what that person's doing. They're probably driving a van, and they are going back and forth between hotels and all of that stuff. Oh, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, from the cruises and all that stuff, right? I believe the number. That's an insane amount of number.
Whew, yeah.
So he's going to benefit from the Trump's no tip on tax. I mean, no tax on tips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unless your state comes around and says, hey, guess what? That money that you now earn because of it, you have to put it on your state taxes, and we're going to fuck you twice.
Florida has no state taxes, do they? They don't have state taxes.
No, they're special.
Yeah. Okay. So you take over the other ones because the print is too small for me. But 80,000 what?
80,000 miles traveled with passengers by a driver in Athens, Georgia, equivalent
That's
to crossing
P3.
the U.S. nearly 30 times. Bro, you don't need to give him a little mount in his a flag in his mount. You know what you need to do is give him a fucking car.
Yeah, because that's about the life of the
80,000
car.
He gave you literally 80,000 miles crossing the U.S. 30 times. This dude deserves a car from Lyft.
Well, he's gonna need. I know he deserves it, but he's gonna need it. Okay,
Yeah.
because Chris, that's just P3. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well,
with a rider in the car.
This is with passengers, so that doesn't include
P1. There's
period
P2.
with. Yep.
So let's guess 100,000 miles, right? I mean, it's got to be somewhere in that range.
Probably, yeah.
A year, bro. A year. What is that? That's like 8,000 miles a month. Holy
you want some good
shit.
P? You want some good P right here? I mean, let's go back to the first page where they say, "Oh, the top drivers drove 3.3 billion." Great. You know what? Give them an extra $2,000, $2,500 or something to throw towards their car, to throw towards maintenance or something like that.
Well,
this person deserves a new car.
Yep. Or give him some shares, or give him some loyalty. Give him something. The guy drove the fucking car into the ground. I hope it was a 2000. Well, I'm hoping it's a 2015 Prius or something. It's already fully depreciated, with the doors falling off. So what's 5,000, Chris?
5,000 compliments received by a driver in Rapid City, South Dakota. Let me tell you something, Lyft.
South Dakota?
Yeah, nobody cares about compliments. Compliments don't pay the bills.
Nope.
I don't care about them.
Blows my mind.
Anybody in chat? Do you care about them? Yes, no?
Oh, no, we know
and if you do, why? Just it makes you feel all warm and fuzzy. And don't pay my bills. It don't put money in my pocket. Don't put food on the table.
Well, other than the first one, the $40,000 in tips, which blows my mind.
That's
some serious bucks. That's actually more than a person makes in the U.S. on a W-2 average. Yeah, that's incredible. I would love to find that guy and put him on behind the wheel. In fact, after this, I'm going to send Lyft an email saying, can you guys put me in touch with that driver, please?
Yeah.
In fact, the first top two, those two,
I want
40 and 80.
I was just gonna say, I want the 40,000 tipper on, but I'd also want the guy who's driving, or gal who's driving 80,000 miles a year.
And the guy in South Dakota, I mean, are there that many trips that he got 5,000 compliments? Well, I'm not even sure South Dakota is that busy.
Clearly, that driver's driving full time, and you could be having the same person 10 times a month who's giving you that compliment every time instead of a tip. Who knows?
Friends and family. This is funny. Then he says, then you find out that driver doesn't exist.
No, you know what? I believe that these are actualities.
I believe it.
But the thing is, they don't mean anything.
Yeah.
They're meaningless. Like recognition, I don't care about recognition. You know what I care about? Hey, you did awesome. You did great. Yeah, that makes me all warm and fuzzy. I'm hungry, man. Show me the cheddar.
Here's 500 shares of Lyft at a cost basis of 0. You know what I mean?
Yeah, give the top drivers cash or something.
Yeah,
that would be the best publicity you could give out there. Hey, Lyft is giving back to the top drivers out there for whatever they did. 80,000 miles they drove. Guess what? You got a new car. We are getting you a brand new freaking car.
We have a candidate. He says over 80,000 miles. You drove over 80,000 miles this year? Email me, Sergio at therideshareguy.com immediately.
So is proof.
Holy shit.
Proof.
But he's probably multi-apping.
By
the way, this is only on Lyft, folks.
Yeah.
This is not multi-apping.
Well,
so you guys got to figure this shit out.
Hold on, time out. Don't forget, there's a lot of drivers who do not drive on multiple platforms. We've already talked about this.
about
Yeah,
that.
we've already established many drivers stick on one platform. So
I
that
know.
would be probably the 2 drivers or 6 drivers here that are using Lyft solely.
Yeah, that's true. These are probably those because how do you don't have any other time to get this shit? I mean, it's like
Yeah.
there's no time left. But 4,700 is woman to woman. What's 3,000?
Yeah, 3,000 airport rides given by a Las Vegas driver. And I thought
Well,
they
that's
said
okay.
Vegas
That's
is
doable.
fine.
I get that. That's doable. Las Vegas is
Yeah.
small. Going to McCarran Airport to the Strip is probably, I don't know, like 8 miles or something. So
Yeah,
that's
and
fine.
you're literally probably doing that back
Yeah,
and
that's
forth.
fine. You can't do that in LA. There's not a goddamn
No.
chance you do that in LA. But okay. And then 2,300 what?
Restaurant rides given by a driver in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, you mean, well, see how much data they collect? They even know that where he picks up
Oh
and
yeah, I mean they pick up, they drop off, they know when you're going out. They know. I'm sure that the phone app probably digs into a lot of your personal information on top of it that you may
yeah,
not even realize. So they're able to pull quite a bit.
yeah.
Quite a bit.
Okay,
And then
Lyft.
on top of that, well, they could probably I'm sure that they scrape data when it comes to your social media platforms. I'm sure that they have all of that data aggregated as well. So they can see where you are, what you're doing, how you're spending, your pictures, your posts, all that stuff. I would not be surprised that they do.
So I want to actually get the 40, 80, and the 5. Woman to woman, whatever. 3,000 airport trips, no big deal. 2,300 restaurant trips, no big deal. 40, 80, and the 5. Because the reason I'm saying 5 is interesting to me, because South Dakota, now, not everybody is going to compliment you. So this guy must have done 20,000 trips or 15,000 trips. Just if 1 out of 3 compliment you, that's how you get to 5,000. Are there that many trips in South Dakota for a single driver? I'm not even sure. Anyway, Lyft, I'm going to email you after the show. I want to talk to the 40, 80,
Wow.
and the 5. Yeah.
So Rapid City, South Dakota is a population of approximately 77,000 people.
How's that possible, bro?
Well, that's what I'm talking. That's like the same size as like a town, a suburb of Buffalo.
Yeah. I
Just
mean,
a
imagine
suburb.
getting 5,000 compliments and you're not going to get complimented on each goddamn trip. You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, so Lyft, get ready for the email. All right. So see, you guys complain. Look at these people. The guy drove 100,000 miles. The other one got 40,000. I'll bet you he drives an XL. I'll bet you anything. I'll put my money on it.
Oh, well, here we go. There's if you take Rapid City, South Dakota, but if you put in the suburbs as well, then you're looking at about 156,000 residents. So the thing is, though, that person could have, some regulars, and you go out on the same time, you go to the same areas, you get the same rides, and the
Potentially.
people could continually, who knows?
Yeah. Well, I want to definitely talk to those top 2 for sure. For sure.
I hope that 5,000 compliment received. I hope it's a woman because they made the graphic a woman.
Yeah.
So I hope it's a woman driver.
Yeah, I know. Well, actually, that's a good catch. If it's not a woman, there's hocus pocus.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I would expect a busty blonde hair.
I'll bet you they missed that.
I
bet you
getting all those compliments. Oh, well, you got some good milk. I mean, you got some good driving habits there.
Look at these graphics, though. Okay, look at these graphics. Like the one that drove 80,000 miles. Basically, he drove his lower back, and the car into the ground. It's like a flag on top of Mount Everest, bro.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that 80,000 mile driver, they deserve a new car.
Yeah,
And these top earners don't deserve a freaking
What if he's in a flex
AI
drive?
generated graphic. They deserve, cash or.
Okay, what if he's in a flex drive? What if he's in a flex drive rental?
I don't care. Give him a new car anyway.
Bro, if we ran these rideshare companies, we'd be so broke.
No, he has the option. He can take a brand new car. He could continue driving with his rental. I mean, he doesn't have to. Maybe he needs a new car. Who knows? Maybe whatever. Who knows? Or he could take the cash. You know how when you win a car at the casino, you can take the cash or you could take the car. It's your choice.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna find out. Hopefully, Lyft will not keep these drivers for themselves. and send me the information, and I'll get in touch with them. But well, you had one at 80,000 miles. Email me wherever you are. Email me, Sergio@therideshareguy.com.
We need proof on that, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know how you can prove that, but it is what it is.
You can, because you are going to submit a 2025 tax return very soon, and you're going to be putting your mileage on there. You're also going to have it compared with your. You can black out all that stuff. You can also take your your annual reports from Uber and Lyft, which is going to have your mileage on there as well too. So there are ways to prove it. Also, if you are tracking your mileage like you should, your mileage tracker app will be able to provide that data as well too.
All right. Okay. Next one.
All right. Let's move on. Let's talk about Uber turning your data over.
This is I talked to Len about this. This is happening, folks. Uber's latest play for ad dollars, turning data. Do you remember 2 weeks ago we did the segment on the new privacy?
How is this news? Haven't they been doing this for 10 years?
No, this is different. Hold on. We talked about this 2 weeks ago. There was a new privacy thingamajiggy Uber sent us. Remember? And I said, for everyone, go read it. It's like 30 pages. There are stuff that I really don't like, how they're going to, use your data. Well, here you go. They're going to make money off your data. So Uber's latest play for ad dollars, turning data about your trips and takeout into insights for marketers. FYI, this is not just for the rider. I'm pretty sure it's for the driver as well. Uber's advertising and launching an insights platform for marketers called Uber Intelligence. Sounds like CIA. It has partnered with LiveRamp to aggregate users' data without revealing their identities until a hack happens, and then it's all fair game. Uber has said its ad business is on track to generate $1.5 billion in revenue. Bro, what is the new gold?
Calls on Uber.
New gold is data. Gold. Data is gold. Uber wants advertisers to level up their marketing by tapping into data on millions of rides and deliveries its users order every day. And then they said this: it uses LiveRamp's clean room technology.
You got to click on that. What does that say?
What is going on? What does that mean? Clean room technology? Is that some sort of like Mission Impossible?
It's probably where it's scrubbed from, like it scrubbed the personal data or something.
I guess. Which lets companies aggregate their data in a privacy-safe environment without sharing or seeing each other's raw or personally identifiable customer information. So you're going to sell my information to a marketer so I can get hounded with more spam and more shit, and you're going to make money. See what I mean? Data is gold. A hotel brand, for example.
Here we go. We got the clean room technology. I just clicked. Oh,
what is it?
Actually, it just talks about LiveRamp.
Oh.
It just takes you to a Business Insider article. The ad tech firms leading the change in how advertising data is used in 2021 through 7. So it's probably updated. So fiscal year 2020 revenue was $443 million with $82 million in gross profit. Competitors Snowflake and InfoSum, notable clients now Uber. They also got Unilever, Mondelez, Carrefour, and they're well known in the advertising industry for helping marketers use offline data like sales. How's it different? It doesn't show anything about clean room though. So you click clean room and it takes you to this.
Okay. Well, so it's a clean room. Uber says, as usual, trust us.
Trust us, bro.
A hotel brand could use Uber Intelligence to help identify which restaurants or entertainment venues it might want to partner with for its loyalty program. For example, it makes complete sense. If you're staying at a hotel, you're a tourist in a town, right? That hotel would like the information of what restaurants you're going to go, what venues you're going to go to, what airlines you fly, and all this is going to be now sold, right? Okay, awesome. And somebody's asking, like, can you refuse to allow that? And no, because once you accept the terms of service, you're locked in. This is not something you can opt out of. And that's why I told you guys to go read the privacy thing. There are some disturbing shit in there for drivers specifically, because there were 2 segments in there, drivers and riders. And on the next screenshot, it says, is there a next screenshot? Yeah.
Yep.
Vihan Sharma, Chief Revenue Officer of LiveRamp, said its platform provides technical guarantees.
Uh-oh.
Last famous word. To ensure zero movement of data. The whole objective of a clean room technology is to build trust between data owners, i.e. Uber, and consumers and the advertising ecosystem. We're going to find out, but Uber seems like they're going to make more money with the data that they collect, which
Gotta put some
means,
calls on them.
FYI, Uber stock is as low as I've seen it last couple of months. It's down to like $80 a share from about 100 and
Yeah, 80.92.
Yeah, 108. I may be buying some
101.99.
Yeah. What was the high? 108, right?
52-week high at closing was 101.99.
101.99?
Yep.
Okay, so 102 down to 82 is down 20%, while the market's only down 3%, 2%. So I don't know. It seems like
it's getting close to testing. I'm on their max thing, and if you look from about 2023, where it's almost $25, then it hits another little low at 41. Then you got another little peak around 60, another peak about 64, and now we're getting. You look at that line, you look at that lower resistance line.
Look at Chris reading chopsticks for us. There we go, buddy.
It's about getting ready to test it, man.
Okay, what is the uptrend? The uptrend is going to get tested about 78, I gathered, and then I think I'm just going to get in there. See, you guys are going to call me now. The Uber shield is going to buy Uber stock. I'm like, bro, if you can't beat him, you join him. I would all recommend. It's not financial or trading or investment advice, but I probably will go buy some. Anyway, so yeah, this is what's happening. So more money for Uber, more money. And no, the scare is the FTC. 26 states, by the way, Chris, are suing Uber for the shenanigans they pull with Uber One. You know how like the Roach Motel, you can subscribe really fast, but you can't get out of it. You need like 3 days and 180 clicks to get out of it.
Yeah, but so that's the thing, though. I mean, like they're saying like the cancel button doesn't have to be there anymore, so they're removing it to make it harder. It's kind of like what we talked about last week. They're banking on the fact that you won't call for your 42 cents because it's more hassle to sit on or talk to somebody for the time frame than lose that money. So, hey, we made 42 cents. You lost 42 cents, but you're not going to take the time. That's what they're banking on. It's the same thing that they're doing when it comes to these cancellations. And it's across the board. I mean, it started pretty much with gyms. You can go in, you can sign up for a gym membership. That's what everybody's about to do in about 2 weeks. And then trying to cancel that because you go for a week, you feel great. And then all of a sudden you're like, I don't need to do it today. And then, 3 months go by and you're like, why is it still coming on my account? And you're like, hey, call them up. Oh, you got to send a notarized letter, certified mail to this address in, East Jahunga. And, it takes, 60 days to process. So we're still going to get 2 more months out of you. So yeah, this is what these companies are doing. That lawsuit, I really don't think is going to do anything unless there's some other shenanigans that are going on beyond it. But if there is, what's the real problem going to be? They're going to get a little slap on the wrist, fine that they just pay off and call it a day.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it was in one state, and now 26 states are joining that lawsuit, right, by the FTC.
That's what I'm saying. So they'll get sued $1 billion. They're like, oh, fuck it. Who cares?
About 8 years later, they settled for $150 million, and that'll be the end of that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, here's a driver after my heart. Shameless plug. Everyone should be investing at least some of their money. 100% agree. Marca 8306. I hope you're a subscriber to my new finance newsletter. Here's my website. Please. Financial literacy is what's going to take you to financial freedom. I know you guys always keep saying, I don't have money to invest. Please go visit the website and subscribe to the free newsletter. The 12th version every Monday. You get a free one. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for Discord. I'm not asking for anything. I'm going to educate the gig worker first, but then everybody else in between, from elementary school kids all the way to college kids. Please invest. Nobody is going to save your ass other than you.
The Schwab accounts just paid out their dividends today.
There you go.
So
There's a
if you
million ways to do
got
it.
like SCHD, our dividend investor there, if you got SCHD that just paid out, SCHG, SCH, all of them.
And then
Schwab,
I'm assuming,
Schwab
because you've asked me this before, but I know you are, you're reinvesting your dividends, obviously, correct?
Oh yeah, drip that shit, baby.
Yeah. So please go visit. We're laying the groundwork on financial literacy and education. Simple stuff. We all can do it. You must invest. You invest $5 a day. Do one extra trip a day, like Matt says from Boston, and put that money into an account. Dollar cost averaging. If you like crypto, stocks, indexes, ETFs, it's all on the website. We already have articles about it, and there's more to come. Please go invest. So.
Yep. All right. Let's move on. Let's talk about Lyft shuffling the card deck again. Well, I mean, this isn't news. This isn't new, I should say, but the year is changing in a couple of weeks. You got half a month left in the year. And so 2026 is rolling around very quickly. And with that being said, number of cars may not qualify going from 25 to 26 because there is an age limit on the cars that can happen both on Uber and Lyft.
I think Uber is a little bit more forgiving. I remember that, but I'm not 100% sure.
They're the same here. I think it depends on the region and a couple of things like that, and probably comes down to insurance as well too.
Yeah. So Lyft is shuffling the car deck. I got a bunch of emails about this from pissed off drivers. They go like, they didn't even give us a warning. I'm like, there is your warning. They go like, at least they should have given us a 30-day warning. And
when you signed up, it literally tells you, hey, you need to have a car within X amount of years. Here it's 15. There for this one it's 13. Other ones may have closer. I think some areas have 10 years. So you got to pay attention to that type of stuff in order.
For some tiers is different too, not just that, right? So, so it says we previously shared upcoming updates to vehicles age in your region. Please see vehicle age corrections below. So why are we doing this? We're doing this because we don't want you to be surprised. And a couple of drivers said, my car is perfectly fine. I'm like, yeah, but it's not going to be perfectly fine because it's not going to be older than 13 years. It doesn't make any difference. Yeah. So now you're going to scramble. And one piece of advice here, this is advice. Do not buy anything newer than a 5-year-old car to do rideshare. Do not. And that I'm being generous with 5 years here. Don't. New car, go get your blood pressure checked. Go get your brain checked if you buy a new car to do rideshare, especially these days. Okay. Anyway, so to continue with driving with Lyft,
there's a reason for it. I mean, you have to have a good, strong reason why to have a new car in order and do that. But like, if you're doing this full time and you're using rideshare, yeah, definitely.
You do full time rideshare with a brand new car? No. Cars depreciate most the first 2 years. They lose 50% of their value. Yep. Don't do it, especially with rideshare. Especially if you drove like that guy did, 100,000 miles. That car's worth nothing. That's nothing.
It's not new. This happens every single year. We probably make this PSA since the show began every year. But yeah, it's just something that you need to know when it comes to certain markets. If you are unsure and your car is starting to get a little older, maybe it's the 11, 12, 13, 14 year that you've been driving or something with that particular car. Go on, Lyft, go on Uber, whatever platform you are on, and see the regulations when it comes to how old the car has to be. So then that way you're not caught off guard with 30 days to go and say, fuck, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's 30 days. Do I got to get a car? What do I got to do? I didn't plan for that. And all you stressed out and all that. So
what did we just say? Oh my God. Why? Sergio, I drive a 2025 BMW i4.
Sell it. That's the only thing you can do.
Oh, why, buddy? Why? I don't care. Premier doesn't pay that much more. How many trips can you do on Premier to justify? That's like a 50, 60, I don't know, $70,000 car. Anyway, people do things for one reason or another. You have no control in this, so don't go investing because car purchase is one of the larger investments you're going to make in your life, especially if you're a full-time driver, please do not buy a new car. Please don't, especially if you're X and standard. The best thing would be a hybrid, 7-8-year-old hybrid, reasonable miles. I know used car prices are high, but still, it's better than losing half the value of your car in 2
Damn good
years.
deals out there. You could get like people are like, oh, I can't get a car for $3,500, $5,000. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you absolutely can.
Oh, we had that driver. Remember 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, he bought a car for $5,000, and he goes, "I made $240 this weekend. I already paid for like 5% of the car." I'm like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So it can absolutely be done, and then it's just being smart about the money and planning it out. The problem is nobody is planning. Nobody is taking their money and saying, okay, this has to go for this, and plan out how you're going to use your money. You're just like, oh, I made $275 today. All right. So now I can go and, go take the family out for food or something. I don't know.
So
But,
what do you say
plan it out.
to what do you say to all drivers who just bought 22? I hope it's not you, Adele. I go get your head checked, examined. I don't know.
I'd say you better download the Maximo app or Gig You and find out the profit calculators so you know what the cost is per mile for your vehicle, and then do not accept anything that is well below that or below that at all. You want to make sure that you're also driving in a little bit of profit there, so that means you have to go a little bit higher. So if it tells you, hey, it's 80 cents a mile to drive for your car, well, you want to make some sort of profit. Where's that going to be? How much do you want to make per mile? 20 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents per mile? I don't know. That's up to you. That's your cost of living. That's what you got to do to figure it out and break it down. So you better be accepting things that are at that threshold. So yeah.
Yeah, but see, then you have comments like this that does not make any sense, right? Used cars equals monthly out-of-pocket repairs. No, it doesn't. And new car, no repairs for at least 4 years. No, it doesn't. New cars are not made they're all electronic chips. Once shit goes wrong, and like the other driver, if you drove, bro, there is something called depreciation. Depreciation is 50% the first 2 years of any car, let alone for a rideshare driver, for a regular consumer. You drive around a lot, that car is depreciated 15% already. Why don't people understand this stuff, Chris? I don't know. I think we're not doing our job, bro. I mean, people just don't get it. It's not that difficult, man. Anyway.
Yes, I'm trying to reach you for your car's extended warranty. It seems like we did not reach you. Look, honestly, it's probably better. A buddy of mine, he's got, I don't know, like a 2012 Dodge Ram truck, pickup truck, and he will drive that thing more than when it's in the ground. I mean, he already replaced the engine and transmission. And, we were talking about it. He said, it's cheaper for me to do that than get a whole new car. And it's like, yeah. So, again, these are things that you should be planning for. So in the event that you do need repairs, a certain percentage goes towards it. That's why I say you need to know your costs associated with driving, because part of the costs associated with driving, it's a nice little silver of how much you need to put away per mile for any type of problem that comes up into the future for repairs.
Yeah, I agree. And please pay attention to your profitability, folks. Anyway, so if you're 13 years or older, your car is going to be no more on the Lyft platform starting 2026.
Well, depends on your area.
Yeah.
All areas are going to be different. So if your car's starting to get up there, creep up there, and you're not sure, best thing to do, like I said, get on Uber, get on Lyft, go on the become a driver FAQ section and find out what it is for your area.
That's true.
And that way you're going to have a lot better information, because yes, in LA it's 13. In New York it's 15. In other areas it might be different. It could be 10. So it just depends.
Yeah.
But you want to make sure so like I say, if your car's at 9 years and you only got 10 years on it, you have a whole nother year in order to figure out what you're going to do. So you can continue driving, you can get a new car, or a newer car, I should say. So you're still able to drive, or go find something else to do. You can still do food delivery. Food delivery usually does not have the same restrictions, or different types of gig platforms don't have the same restrictions when it comes to rideshare. So it just depends on what you want to do, where you want to go, and how you want to do it.
Yep, 100%.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about don't do what these Uber drivers are doing. Take note, you will get
Seriously, man, these assholes. I mean, seriously, they give all drivers a bad look. You know, I mean, look, we used to do this. It's called ghosting. Or look, don't do this. If you don't just don't go wait in the corner 100 yards away from the pickup spot, run the clock down, cancel. Don't do this shit, man. Just don't drive. It's not worth it. But these people are taking it to the next level now. They're starting the trip and going towards destination and collecting the fare, and then it's leaving now the rider, to call. But now the riders are going to black hole Uber support and trying to get their money back. They're like, I was never in the car. Then Uber support goes, hey, this driver started the trip where he was supposed to start the trip, ended the trip where he was supposed to end the trip. Done. You are in the car, we're assuming. So we're not going to give you your money back.
Yes, but they can also look at the GPS, because I'm sure they have the GPS data for
the phone holder. Yes. Yeah.
Of both phones.
Yeah. Don't do this, though. Don't do this. Seriously, don't do this. If you're doing this, don't do it.
Yeah, basically you are just going to get screwed and you're going to get deactivated, and rightfully so. Rightfully so.
And then you're going to email me. I'm like, don't. Okay, so Uber drivers are starting trips without passengers. Yeah, this is not new though, but I guess it's more prevalent now. That's why there's an article about it. Yeah. And the latest Uber scam and how a PIN can stop it. Yes, absolutely, 100%.
And you know what? I'm so glad that they put the PIN in there. Yeah, as the way to, because not only does it protect passengers, but it protects drivers from so many different things as well too. Because the passenger, the opposite of this scam is, my driver didn't pick me up, so it's literally the exact same thing. But the difference is you did drive them. They're just saying, oh, you did. It must have been somebody else because I didn't get picked up. That was the big thing that was going on as well too. So it's the exact same scam. It's just different for the driver, different from the passenger. The PIN solves that completely, because you can't use the PIN unless you're actually there. So if somebody says, oh, well, they didn't take me and I was stuck at the restaurant for another hour because I couldn't order another ride or whatever bullshit excuse. Well, you had the driver had the PIN. You had to give a PIN. What happened? Sorry. Don't believe you.
Oh, we need to talk about this one. Well, at the end, maybe we'll talk about this one. Well, thank you for the super chat. 2690, is that without the top off or with the top off? We need to look into that. Maybe we'll do how about we do well, why don't you do this? If you do a couple more weeks like that, you may be just going out for Ironman category, sir, madam. Then email me, Sergio@therideshareguy.com. In fact, email me the weekly earnings screenshot for 2690, and we'll get you on behind the wheel. You're in Minneapolis, they have the guarantee there though. But anyway, so somebody said drivers who do this hurt themselves. No, drivers who do this hurt every driver. Don't do this shit. Just if you're not going to drive, just don't drive. Go home, do something else, get a W-2, go stand somewhere for $25 an hour. This is stupid. Don't do this. In this one, I'm with the rider, I'm with Uber on this one. What benefit so all day you're still driving, Chris. It's not like you're not fucking driving. You still have the same cost. You just don't have the passenger in the car. What's the point of this? Can anybody explain this to me? You're still fucking driving. You're still going to drive point A to pick up to drop off to get the money. Might as well have the guy in the back seat. What's the fucking point? Yeah, what is the advantage of doing this for the driver? I just want to know. That's what I thought. I'm like, what is? Is there some sort of Fight Club thing happening here that I don't know of? And
the only thing is if you're dirty apping,
bro.
That's the only way, and you're trying to double dip.
You can dirty app if you have a delivery and you're doing rideshare at the same time. They're happen to be going in the same direction, but every time you stop your car to pick up the delivery while you're doing this bullshit, Uber is going to say, send a text to the rider and the driver. Is everything okay? Because you stopped longer than anticipated. Look, there is fucking shit for this. What is the point of this? Does anybody do this here? And what is the point of this? I need an explanation for this one. I'm not sure.
I don't know, but
I don't either.
It's ridiculous and shouldn't happen, period. So If you're going to do that, then don't do that because you will get deactivated, and it's only a matter of time. So if you're trying to pull a fast one, they're going to get you.
I don't know. Anyway, don't do it. Okay.
All right. With that being said, let's move on. Let's talk about should Lyft earn more than you for long rides?
There comes the algorithmic advantage. These are pretty much similar trips. They're not identical trips, but they're very similar trips in duration and distance. These screenshots supplied by Buddha from the Inland Empire, from Riverside County or Rancho Cucamonga area. If you know LA, it's way east of LA actually. So here's a trip: 2 hours 11 minutes, 198 miles, 99 miles, whatever it is. And that's the expected, what it's supposed to take, I guess. And then on the right side, you have that. But let's drop our eyes to the bottom, okay? Passenger payment, $277 and is it 99 cents?
Ooh. Yep.
Wow.
Ooh, baby.
External expenses, Chris.
Oh, don't laugh yet. Don't laugh yet.
No. $71.81.
That's external fees.
Lyft made.
Look at the Lyft fee is $108. So it's even more. And then the driver, Buddha, just under $98, $97.75.
How is Lyft making more than the driver?
It shouldn't be. Not at all.
How is that? Like, how? Lyft.
Not at all.
Congrats. You know who the winner is here? There's only one winner here. Actually, look, $92.75, 2-hour trip. No, what is it? An hour and 52? What's the trip? An hour and 52, right?
Yep.
And 97 miles, $1 a mile, 45, almost $50 an hour. Okay, fine. That's a good trip. I mean, for the driver. But how is it that the Lyft is making $10 more than the driver? That means they have perfected the algo.
What about, and then, exactly. And then think about the 70-30. First off, I want to know how many times did the external fees and Lyft fee decide to change from when the actual fare was completed to, today, because that says December 5th. So we've gone 11 days. How much has that changed? And then even the second one. And then the other thing is this driver I know did not take just this one ride on December 5th and this one ride on December 9th. No. They took a lot of other rides. So what was the 70-30 split at that point? I bet it was pretty damn close to 70-30.
I bet you it was, because under 70-30, Chris. So if we take $72 out of 277, we're left with 205, right?
Mm-hmm.
So under 70-30 split, the driver should be getting about $140+ for this trip. So he's going to get a $40 top off, the one on the left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'll bet you he doesn't.
Probably not.
Because $140, look, 70, if this was the only single trip that this driver did, and under the assumption that the external expenses did not get flipped around day after day after day, then this trip is a $145 trip for 2 hours. I'll take it all day long. Very goddamn profitable. And the one on the right is pretty similar. So $245 was charged to the passenger, $77.45. Now, the one on the right is a little bit longer, so maybe that's why external fees were more, I guess. An estimated Lyft fee was $82, and they paid the driver $87. So under 70-30 hocus pocus. This is like 170, 70% of 170 is about 120. So the driver should get about $38, $35 top off on this one as well. If this was just the only trip. No. And if this was also, if the external expenses did not change day after day after day, which Lyft has a tendency of doing, not to pay the top off. So both these trips I do, cash or trash, right? They're both cash for me, especially if I'm just doing that single trip, squeezing the single trip on Lyft by doing Uber and other things. Super good, super profitable. I'd do it all day long. No problem.
Yeah, but what about going back? Are you going to get
going back? Yeah. Well, I looked
Maybe
at the
some-
drop off. That's like right on the Mexican border. So I don't know. I don't know about going back part. But what I can do is from there, I can just track maybe 15, 18 miles to San Diego area. And then from there, I'll catch a trip back to LA or back to LAX or so. You can work your way back. I'm not a huge believer in that. Everybody says, what about tracking back? What about dead miles? I mean, unless you're like really in the boondocks or really like in the middle of the desert or something, there is a city or town you can drive to dead mile, maybe 10, 15 miles, and then grab something and piecemeal yourself back. So, if you know what you're doing, there's ways to do it. So,
All right. Well, let's talk about Uber going back in time.
yeah, how do you like them apples? Nostalgia hit me when I saw this one. And in fact, Johan, our friend, contributor at Rideshare Guy, did a video. This is LaGuardia. This is in your backyard, man. They're bringing kiosks. Now you're going to be able to order an Uber through a kiosk like the good old days. You just go to the machine and you just put your shit in. This is good for tourists, though. I think it's pretty timely. World Cup is happening. You know what I'm saying? A lot of tourists are going to come around. And I think this is a good idea. I mean, a lot of people said, like, this is a horrible idea. I'm like, why is this a horrible idea? I think this is a pretty good idea. Uber is changing how travelers order rides at airports. A new ride booking method. I mean, it doesn't make it any difference to the driver. You're still going to get the trip. A new ride booking method will debut at airports across the country. I think it's a brilliant idea.
It's going to be a lot better because instead of somebody ordering a ride when they're still on the airplane trying to get off and then walk the entire distance of the airport and then go pick up their bags and then finally come into the rideshare lot, at least it's going to be where where that rider has to be in front of the area in order to be able to order the ride. So at least that's a perk. And I think a lot of it is probably going to be that it's going to be like you said, probably more international travel. So there could be some issues when it comes to that, where the phone may not be working properly, or there could be some issues while using it. So having a terminal right there where you can do that type of ordering is probably going to be key. And then other people, may have a phone or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, everybody has a credit card, I'm assuming, right? Tourists, right? And I mean, we have cash chips too, by the way, folks, in a lot of cities now, almost everywhere. I like this idea. I think this is pretty good. Uber kiosks to appear at LaGuardia. They're kicking off at LaGuardia. Uber also recently confirmed plans to launch Uber kiosk, a booth at airports that travelers without an international data plan or phone access.
There you go.
I think this is.
I didn't even read that
I think
part.
this is good. Yeah, you don't think this is
I
good?
looked at the front one, but I didn't even read that part.
Which one? No data,
Where
no
it
phone
said,
access.
booth at airports that travelers without an international data plan or phone access can use to book a ride. I didn't even. That's literally what I just said, but I wasn't.
Yeah. No. Well, what do you think? Do you think this is a good idea? I think it's a good idea for Uber.
Sure. Never expect a tip though from them.
No, but I mean, it's like it literally goes like going back though. That's why I said it's like we're going back in time, nostalgia. Now you just go to I mean, like you do this at every fast food restaurant now. There's a goddamn kiosk. They replaced all the cashiers now.
I don't do kiosks. F that,
bro. I went to McDonald's yesterday. Not yesterday.
That was your
day
first
before.
going to
Bro,
McDonald's.
that thing is so complicated. I'm going like, how the fuck do you order anything here, man?
Go to Five Guys. First off, Five Guys tastes so much better. And you know what? McDonald's is actually more expensive than Five Guys now.
Not in my neighborhood. Five Guys, 2 people is $40, bro.
Ugh. Yeah, Five Guys is 38.
No, well, all I know is
especially with your $20 minimum wage that or 25 now or whatever it is at.
Yeah, in California it's 25. Fast food workers get 25. That's why Five Guys is $40 for 2 people. So Uber, I like this idea. So we can put your pre-roll in front of this segment. So we can do that. Okay.
All right. So let's talk about the next one, and that is
Did you get that?
Decline trips. Did I? There we go.
All right. So Lyft is sending this out, Chris, to a lot of drivers, including myself. So they go like, listen, they go, don't click the X.
What?
No. Okay, hold on. What do I always say? you and I, we both say, let it
Run
ping
the
through, right?
timer out.
Let it ping through, right? Okay. Now Lyft goes, okay, they're listening to these two knuckleheads. They're letting it ping through a lot of people. This is valid for Uber as well, by the way.
Good job, guys. Good job. I'm loving it.
Good job, yeah. So now Lyft goes, hold on a second. Do you guys know that if you click X, you can get the next ride faster, Chris?
So you don't hit got it, hit the X.
Yeah, don't hit got it. Don't hit got it. Hit X. Okay, definitely hit X on this one.
Hit the X on that. Don't hit got it.
Yeah, don't hit got it.
And then continue. And then continue doing that, because you know what? This is them trying to give a little passive aggressive thing that says, "Oh no, don't time out your thing. It's 15 seconds. You know what happens to that spinner time in 15 seconds? And then the next rider or the next driver who doesn't take it, that's 30 seconds, and then 45, and then a full minute. And now the passenger's getting really pissed off, and they canceled the ride on us. So please hit the X in 4 seconds instead. So then we could give to the next driver. We could get that spinner down maybe to like 20 seconds before we're riding it. Nope. Sorry.
Don't hit the
X. Why?
He's kidding.
Because Lyft, it's all going to come back to this one thing. You are not paying drivers properly, and drivers are going to say, nope. And we're going to let it time out.
Decline and
recline. We're going to let it time out.
Decline and recline. It says, how to get your next ride faster, Chris. See? Tapping the X to decline a ride request instead of waiting for it to disappear, right? He goes, don't you want to get your next ping faster? No.
No, I want a ride that's going to give me something that's going to be well worth it.
So how many of you, we should do like a little survey now. Put 1 or 2. How many of you, don't lie now, click X to stop the ping, and how many of you ping it through? So if you're in group 1, put 1, meaning you're the Xer. You can't wait to get a new chip, a new garbage chip to show up on your screen, or you let it ping through. If you're pinging through, put 2. Let's see. I don't want to see any ones, especially in this crowd. What's this about they're doing, Chris? What do you say about this one? Huh?
I say, good job, guys. Good job. You're doing
Decline and recline.
You're doing it, and it's definitely affecting
1. Lyft. I hope you're joking. Or we should what? 2 ones.
Well, hey, it's up to each driver and what they want to do.
I know, but come on, man. Okay, so actually, there's a point in 1.
Well, hey, come on, you got to stand strong. You gotta just say, look.
What happened to the brotherhood, man?
Offer, and I'm going to time it out because it's 15 whole freaking seconds now that passenger has to wait. So if the passenger is waiting, they're going to get mad, and then finally maybe something will be done. And it's again a way for drivers to be able to stand up and say, "Look, we're not taking this crap." And then it's going to just continue to go round and round the merry-go-round, and it's going to take longer. Either that passenger is either going to cancel the trip and go on to Uber, or that passenger is just going to be irate and have to wait. And,
That's a good point to this. Depends on how busy they're out there. But then how busy is Lyft though, mostly? Okay, New Year's Eve, let's say. Okay, New Year's Eve, you can click X because surging 300%, whatever.
And then other times it depends on, I've had nights where it was just Lyft nonstop, and I took like maybe 2 Uber rides versus like 25 Lyft rides. So, it can depend. Most of the time it's like 4 or 5x on Uber than it is on Lyft. But market is dependent as well too.
No, that's true. Yeah. So Uber has a habit of sending me another trip while I'm trying to follow directions. You have an Android and you must be override, you have a problem. Yeah.
Well, either way, all I have to say is good job, everybody, because what ends up happening is if they're putting something out there, that means they're feeling the pinch. They're seeing their spinner times go up. And I can say, Show Me the Money Club is probably partially responsible for that. So good job, guys.
Show Me the Money Club is fully responsible for low acceptance rates.
Huh? No, Uber and Lyft are fully responsible for low acceptance rates.
Well, yeah, but until we showed up 3.5 years ago, almost 4 now, I think we changed a lot of minds, Chris. I'm pretty sure we have.
I mean, take a look at Jay. He's a cherry picker now.
Case closed from the ultimate ant to the ultimate cherry picker.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You know, you gotta keep adjusting and pivoting how you're doing things. You know, when they were doing per mile per minute and they were doing the rates, you know, it could have been very profitable for them at that point.
Okay,
But
so
then they switched to upfront fares and it's not as profitable.
so there is a video we put up how to circumvent for the screen not to show up. Go check it out. Do a search on the channel. Elijah did one. I did one. You can't get around it until you turn the app off, and then it'll be back on again. But there is a way not to have that screen with the override cover your existing trip on Lyft or Uber or DoorDash or whatever you're on. Yes, it's very, very bad. It shouldn't. They should have fixed it already. But
yep. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about DC House member introducing the Empowering App Worker Act.
They are. This is very important. NELP, NELP lawyer.
Uber Act. I mean, come on. Let's have something fun. This is the Empowering App Worker Act.
Empowering App-Based Worker Act. It's
Make it
called.
fun.
It's by. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Representative. Okay, Pramila Jayapal from Washington State, Donald Norcross from New Jersey, and Ilhan Omar. Oh shit.
That's why.
Ilhan Omar from Minnesota in the U.S. House of Representatives.
What?
Ilhan Omar, not our favorite, but National Employment Law Project says app-based workers from at least 8 different states, members of Congress, and worker advocates gathered at the U.S. Capitol to celebrate the introduction of the Empowering App-Based Workers Act. App-based workers from at least 8 different states, Congress, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so who was in there? Look at these groups, right? Okay. Washington State joined the event, including members of ACE Collaborative, DMV Drivers Alliance from Virginia, Colorado Independent Drivers United, Connecticut Drivers United, Los Deliveristas Unidos from New York, Make the Road New Jersey, New York Taxi Workers Alliance, Rideshare Drivers United, proud from California, and the Washington Drivers Union, proud to support the Washington Drivers Union. So in a press conference in front of the Capitol, workers spoke about why they need more transparency and accountability from app-based corporations who increasingly rely on opaque digital technologies, we just talked about that, to monitor and manage their workforces. So those technologies function as hidden algorithms. We get that as the boss, on-call boss. But look at the bottom sentence of the next paragraph, Chris. Look what it says. It says, and itemized receipts to customers, blah, 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 just like they have it in Colorado. However, the good part is work assignments and discipline and guarantee ride-hail drivers to receive 75% of each passenger fare, among other changes. Oh, I like it. Let's see where this fucking thing goes. I'm like, yeah. So you guys are going to support
you got 8, what is this, 8 states? That's a pretty big chunk right there. I don't know how Uber and Lyft are going to try and fight that one, but you know they're going to.
I don't know, but I'm going to do my best to find out about it and have some of these people on Show Me the Money. Sergio, you should write a short article on why drivers. I already have. It's on our blog, sir. You can go check it out. Sergio, are you? No. That doesn't mean anything. That's not going to change my mind. But what I'm a fan of is I'm a driver's advocate. And what do you all have been asking for the last, since upfront fares, since no more rate cards, when they decoupled the rider from driver pay, all that shit? What are you guys asking? All you guys complain about is, oh, Uber took this much. Oh, Lyft took this much. We just showed 2 screenshots where Lyft made, without owning the car, without putting gas, without driving, without doing the work, more than the driver. So I wouldn't oppose 75-25 split.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I like the I mean, you're getting the detailed pay statements, itemized receipts for customers, as well, enable workers to find out how companies make decisions about the pay, work assignments and discipline. That's good. guarantee ride hail drivers receive 75% is even better. So 75-25. Ooh, that'd be nice. I mean, it's not the 80-20 that you and I grew up with, but
No, but it's okay. I'll take 75-25. And
75-25 is not too bad.
Matt, are you here, Matt? So there is something going on in Boston, not something going on in Boston, that you can unionize
Yeah, I can tell
drivers
you
now.
something
They need
going on
5%
in
of the vote.
Boston.
We'll talk about that next week, hopefully. But you know what Uber is doing in Massachusetts now? I got like bunch of, because they have stopped referral fees, period. Okay.
Mhm.
They're paying referral fees now in Massachusetts.
Wow.
450, 500. Matt, that's true, right? Did you get one? I don't know if Matt posted it on X or not, but I
ICE,
think they're going to
ICE is
combat
going
that way, flood the
strong
market
there,
with
huh?
drivers.
ICE is
You know?
going strong. Getting
Yeah.
rid of the illegals.
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, I haven't had a fair. Fair is a yes. See, Matt is correct. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. Unionize the drivers in Massachusetts.
Nice. Yeah, I know. Another thing that Massachusetts is coping with is the 21-0 loss after they were 21-0, and then they ended up losing the game. I'm talking about the Patriots-Bills game.
Well, the Bills, the Patriots beat Buffalo in Buffalo.
Yep.
And then
Yeah, so they went 1-1.
I don't know how Buffalo does this, bro, week after week. I wouldn't want to be their coach. I'd be like having a heart attack every single week. It's like last week, same shit. This week, same shit. I go like, how do they do it? I don't know.
I don't know. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about why you're still against Uber teen trips.
100 freaking %. I was against it the first day. I had a bunch of stuff to do with it for this California Public Utilities Commission to end this madness in California. So there's no Uber teen trips in California, folks. Proudly might add to that. Miami Beach Uber driver arrested for alleged lewd conduct on teen passenger. You want to put your teenager in a car with a stranger? Huh? You're that busy of a parent? Okay. Well, Jose Miguel Perez Molina, 39, was arrested Tuesday on a charge of lewd and I don't even know how to fucking pronounce that. Whatever. Conduct on a child under 16, record showed. FYI, he was an illegal alien on top of that.
Oh, he's gone.
You know.
He's
gone.
He's an alligator
That girl's life has changed forever.
Okay? Oh yeah.
So you want convenience? Fucking get off work and put your kid in a car. I mean, I'm trying to be sensitive here, but and Uber advertised Uber Teen as no worries. These Uber Teen drivers are highly vetted, and background checked. Well, I guess this asshole slipped through the cracks, didn't he now?
And it's kind of amazing that it's actually in Florida too, because they're kind of like spearheading against some of that stuff. So I'm surprised that something like that was actually able to fall through the cracks a little bit. But then again, I'm not, because what they're able to pull through with a lot of these
referral numbers, bro. Referrals are flying. Virginia and Denver and Boston. Why aren't we getting any referrals?
Because it's net zero immigration, and then you
highly non-vetted, and the guy bought his ID off of some Facebook group or whatever. He's been driving Uber, and he decided to do Uber Teen, toggled it on, and sure enough, some poor teen got in that car.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, that's a good comment. I think we'll end the show with that one, with good old Jeff's comment. When the cracks are the size of San Andreas Fault, yeah, I live on one. It's very easy to slip through. You fucking said it, Jeff. That's what
Mariana Trench.
Taxi drivers are this we need to put this to bed. Taxi drivers, it's not vetted. They are fingerprinted. They are FBI background checked, sir.
They go through more than
sir.
People.
Wow.
They go through more than what Uber and Lyft drivers go through.
More? Like 3x. Yeah. Anyway, so look, if you want to Uber teen trips, knock yourselves out. Woo-hoo. I wouldn't risk it, because the teen could have a bad idea and say, this guy touched my leg, and then your life is over, although you haven't done much wrong. That's why you need to have a dash cam.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep. All right.
Anything more?
No, I made it.
Right. Good job. Yeah. Starting to feel you're just getting down with something. I'm just getting over something. So,
I don't know.
what was that?
Everybody's sick at home, bro.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to get it. And yeah. Oh, should we announce that we're not doing show next week?
Oh, yeah. We definitely have to announce that because it's next week. So, yeah.
Next Tuesday, we're not doing the show. So it's the day before Christmas.
Christmas, well, it's Christmas Eve. A lot of traveling, a lot of people going out, a lot of people going to be using rideshare. So we know a lot of people are going to be busy. You're going to be out doing things, enjoying. If you're not driving, going with family, whatever it might be, or if you are, going to get out there and make some money. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people traveling. There's going to be a lot of people going out to the bars. There's going to be a lot of people going out to restaurants, doing a lot of different things. Even some Christmas parties or stuff like, pre-gaming and all that. So we know everybody's going to be busy. Plus the holidays, we're not going to have anybody on, or much is going to happen probably in the ways of stories. So yeah, we're going to skip next week, and we'll see you guys. Well, we might not be on the following week as well either, just because there's a couple of things going on. So that's kind of play it by ear. We'll see. So just stay tuned for any announcement when it comes on, YouTube, and make sure you have notifications turned on. If not, then we'll definitely be back, the first full week in the new year. But the next 2 weeks we may not be, but next week we're definitely not.
Next week for sure we're not on. So from me and Chris and everybody at the Rideshare Guy, we wish you guys Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. And if we're not going to do the 30th, New Year's Eve should be a good earning night to drive. Please be careful, be safe. Yeah, much health, and Harry should do the show. Look at this one. What do you say about this one? I like this idea.
Harry should do the show next week.
Harry, good old Harry. Anyway, so yeah, Merry Christmas. Don't overspend. Have a budget. Don't go nuts. It's just another holiday.
Some money into a investment account instead.
You bet. You goddamn.
Instead of spending, 100, spend like 40, and then put the 60 into an investment account.
Yep. Don't waste your money. Anyway, so hats off. Much love. Stay healthy. Be safe.
All right. Adios.